there's this
Mhm.
scary thing that's changing all our lives, but to be able to look at it and look at another thing that is old, that has been here for a very long time, and like the world didn't blow up. Something that kind of comforts me is anytime I find a metaphor between what we're doing right now and reading anything historical, but most particularly biology, is that there are things that are going on right now that have never happened before, at least on the time scale that they're happening, but these things have occurred. I remember this one metaphor between the AI bots that did stock trading and
Mhm.
funguses that grow in between root systems and then exchange nutrients between multiple trees. And it said that you
Mhm.
could model Wall Street on these funguses because it takes energy to like trade the nitrogen for some sugar molecules, and so they would buy and sell in between these different trees and prop up some trees like they were businesses, and they would compete against each other to see who could get it, and etc. And the thing about that was that they never hit an equilibrium. Like the whole shtick, that what it was that it was not an equilibrium, and
Mhm.
that gave me great comfort because there's this
Mhm.
scary thing that's changing all our lives, but to be able to look at it and look at another thing that is old, that has been here for a very long time, and like the world didn't blow up. In a way that's facetious, but in a way it's not, because it's biology, right? Like we evolved afterwards. The next level of complexity could be built on the previous level of complexity. What we're building right here, it might be scary, but if we can find it lower down the chain, then it means something else can come after this. It doesn't end here. It's not like the great filter. If you really break down the major AI fears, for me the one that I found most compelling was the replicator problem. Of
Mhm.
where it either it has a very simple goal, like get better at signatures so it converts everyone to carbon to then write out the thing, or it's just like, no, just replicate. Either case, the problem is it expands. But the thing is, cells don't do that. The way that cells work is but in order to do that job
Mhm.
really well, they actually find that diversifying helps them do that better. And
Yeah.
thus, when they create a diversity of different points, and we find this at every level. There's eukaryotes, then there's multicellular with nervous systems, and then there's
Mhm.
nervous systems and at least in humans and other animals, we see multiple personalities. Is it like there's a part of the brain that deals with hunger, the part of the brain that deals with lust, the part of the brain that deals with other things, and we survive by flowing between all those different hungers, those different modes, or different
Right.
personalities. Thus, I find that a really compelling argument of not being as worried about the replicator problem as an end goal. In fact, in many ways, when I'm seeing how AI is really developing in many different fields, it's that the next wave of AI appears to be multiple AIs all interacting with each other. And
Yeah.
so, therefore, the idea that a single one would become creating the homogeneous gray goo does not seem like it's actually the most likely. The question then is, in that eukaryote civilization of AI, is there a place for humanity? And to that, I would say, like, I'm the most pro-human guy in the world. Like, I'm all for it. Give me the nanobot in the brain. So I think that's really important, that we ensure that that next level does include us, and includes us in an important place. But I'm also flexible about what being human means. And so long as everybody can make that choice in of themselves, probably end up in a not too bad place. Right now, what the AIs, they are generic in their knowledge. They've been trained on pretty much like 10% of the internet, so they've mastered almost every field under the sun.